How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Pixelated Thoughts. The entire gang is here. Chibi, Jack, Brad, myself. And we're going to be talking about Arcane. This is the video game adaptation, or at least one of the stories for League of Legends. I think out of all of us, Jack's probably the one that didn't watch it when it first dropped. I also think that... Who hasn't played League of Legends besides me? Was it Brad? Oh, I thought you did.
Nope.
I've played casual ARAM.
Okay. Never
TFT's where it's at.
Never touched it. Never touched anything in the universe. I'm probably going to play the fighting game when it comes out. But we ended up rewatching Arcane. Yeah, there's a new fighting game coming out. Free to play next year. They're in their beta testing phase right now. Has like one of the worst names I've ever seen. It's like 2x3c or some shit. I don't know. It's something super weird.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Nice.
But the game looks
I'd like
amazing. It's a tag fighting game. Almost everything they've touched so far when they branched out from League of Legends has been pretty good. They have like a couple of RPGs that came out last year, which has been pretty impressive. But with Arcane, I think this one kind of surprised everyone when it dropped. It's probably not just one of the best video game adaptations, but it's just a great TV show all around. And in Brad's words, it is one of the saddest shows he has ever watched. It is devoid of happiness. It is devoid of happiness, and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I want to start with Jack, because Jack, first time watching it, what'd you think, bud?
Should have called it Arcane: The Secret to Sadness. But it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's the art style is impressive. It's probably, you and I have talked about it. It's definitely probably one of the best I've seen.
It's won a number of awards too. It's insane.
Yeah. I feel like the script was good. The voice acting was perfect.
Yep.
I have really no complaints about the show at all.
It's right up your alley too, because you like that sad, dark stuff. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, it had the emo elements and
I want to cosplay as Silco. Feel something, bro.
I'm gonna be Echo.
It'd be Echo. Brad, what about you, bud? Like, what'd you think? Because they usually this type of show that's not within your wheelhouse, not something you relatively like to watch. But what'd you think?
It was really pretty. I had some logic issues with it.
Jesus Christ. Yes, let's go.
Tell us.
Let's go.
Let's hear it.
I will say it's one of the prettiest shows I've ever watched. I just love that, like, hand painted, cell shaded.
Oh, it's so good, dude.
It's the best.
We're gonna call this segment "Logic Issues with Brad."
Yes. Well, so most of it's really not like in continuity type deals. Like it's like it doesn't make sense. It's just the storytelling piece. It's literally just a sequence of people telling people not to do something, then they do it. like Violet.
That is actually very accurate. Yeah.
Powder not to follow, and you know, if they would have made it out in 5 seconds, you know, pretty much the entire show wouldn't have happened, right? It's like if she would have thrown that grenade 10 seconds later, or if she just wouldn't have shown up at all of this would have been avoided. You know, when Heimerdinger tells Jace not to pursue the thing, and then he pursues the thing.
He does it twice, right? Doesn't he? Like he tells him, like, "Hey, let's kind of like let's ease up a little bit on this whole magic thing," and he just like jumps right into it. Yeah.
Nah.
And you know, and I don't know. It's literally just that over and over and over. So it's like some of the story was just like, okay. I mean, now with Violet with Jinx just being like mentally broken, like. You know, it's like it's hard to fault her for most of her actions because she's just demented.
She's fucked in the head.
Yeah, so it's like
Say
it's like, you know, it's
cue the whole like people can fix her type, you know, memes that came out like
you know, and that's the thing.
You can't fix that. Nah, she's fucking
You can't fix that.
She is fucking gone.
But I enjoyed it. It was a good story. It was really sad. No, like there was no like roller coaster. It was just like
it's just all straight sadness.
It was like it started kind of happy when they were like breaking into the workshop, and then the thing exploded, and like after that explosion just went all downhill as far as like anything happy happening.
I kind of felt like the entire time when they got to that part, I was like, so people are gonna die after this. Like all these kids, I had to look up names. I was like, that kid's not in League, that kid's not in League. So those two are dead, like almost immediately, unless they become monsters or something, some other mutation. Chibi, I know you're having some health issues, right?
It's okay.
But tell me, what did you think
Tonsillitis.
of? Oh my god, donate now, guys.
Pay for my surgery. No, just kind of like how Brad and Jack said, I've always appreciated the art, especially like the scenes where Jinx, is like in her, I guess you would say lab or whatever, like with all of the neon colors and lights. It was always, I don't know, those are my favorite moments because it really just showed how beautiful the art was, I think. Um, and it's funny that you're talking about like how sad it is. I didn't realize how sad it was until I watched it the second time. Like I was sad the first time watching it, but I think I was just so entranced with the whole thing, it didn't really hit me. And as I was watching the second run through of it, I was like, damn, a lot of people are dying here. But I think because it was just so pretty, it just didn't hit as hard.
Yeah.
But it was like a downhill of like, this is sad. Oh, it just gets worse from here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because the second season was just announced. They
Mhm.
had a teaser last year, and they just had like a pretty lengthy trailer that kind of showcased, like, it answered some questions. I think
Mhm.
uh, at the end, last episode, Jinx has like this, she has this rocket, shoots it at the council, and then it essentially, unless, somehow, I think there's like a German trailer that actually had like it said like half your council is dead. I'm like, how? There's no shot. Not with that explosion, not that distance. And if it is, what's her name? Mel, she's dead. There's
Mhm.
no way. Unless like her armor activates and there's magic. But Jason's on their side too. So I was like,
Mhm.
maybe, I mean, he has to survive because he's kind of a main character. And
Mhm.
Jace just smacks it with a
Well, did
hammer
he
and it
still
just
have the
deflects off.
gauntlets,
I think,
or
what do you mean? No, I think V has the gauntlets
he had
still.
them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, V or
Yeah.
Vi. Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, I was like curious because one of the things that they'd brought up is that this was essentially just a two-part series, right? Arcane is, and so you have part one, 8 episodes, right? No, 10-ish,
9,
right?
I think.
9,
9.
and then the second season, which, from what I've seen, I mean, the trailer looks like it's just going to continue to be dark, right? Just I
Mhm.
assume it's going to help like maybe establish like more of their backgrounds or like at least do something with the characters. It's going to be it's kind of a weird thing because you're just moving on to other stories told within that universe. And a lot of people were sad about it, but I do think that, like, I kind of trust these guys. I do. I think that the first season was fantastic. Their art style is
Mhm.
amazing. I think
Yeah.
they were looking to work with that same animation studio moving forward on the shows and movies and adaptations. And it's just surprising, especially for people who don't play League of Legends. Like, this is just fantastic, and the voice cast is amazing. They got Haley Stanfield, Ella Purnell. So now we have Ella Purnell, who is in Fallout and
Mhm.
Arcane, and then
Mhm.
yeah, it's just the list is like very long, and there's not. I don't think there's like one gap. It just does a really good job in terms of like setting up the story. The action set pieces are fantastic. The fight between Echo and Jinx was amazing. Like, I can't. I was trying to like. I was like, as I watched through the second season, I was like, or my second go through for the first season, I was like, man, there's got to be like something bad. There's got to be something that's kind of like down a little bit outside, like what Brad said, like kind of the logic, like, hey, you get told not to do that, but you still did it. That's essentially why shit happened. It's like, Heimerdinger, who's this magical creature, who's just like, hey guys, I've seen war, I've seen that thing. We shouldn't play with that thing. They're like, nah, you shut up, old man. Like, we're
They're
gonna
like,
just
what do you know? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he's like 300 and has so much more years of
what
experience.
what are
Who
you
knows?
and that little adorable dog gonna do, right? What do you two assholes know? And that was basically like, it. I think like the different parallels they have between V and Jinx and Silco and what's his name? Shit.
Vander.
Vander. Love that name, by the way.
Put some respect on Vander.
Yeah. They had that. They have to have like the different parallels about who knows what's good for, the certain areas that they live in. I love the fact that they discuss like different caste systems within this universe. Um, yeah, there's like, it's crazy how they have like this really kind of big overarching plot regarding magic and like whether or not it's dangerous, right? Or what could its benefits be. But, most people it's like people with like ambition tend to do shady things to like, you know, meet their goals and stuff like that. And you see that, right? People are willing to cut corners like Jace, and Victor. Um, who Victor I think is probably like the most tragic character. The dude's essentially just dying, bodies just eating away at him.
I love
Like,
Victor.
And then you have like everyone just kind of caught in the crossfire, right? The council's really just one highly intelligent person in Mel, but she's very manipulative and stuff like that. I think I like, and then you meet her mom and you see where she gets it from.
Jesus, her mom is intense.
Her mom is awesome, bro. Her mom's like one of my favorite
man.
characters. I like how she shut up. She's like,
local cuisine.
I like she shut up and she's like, let me get that white meat real quick. And she like dips out and shit. I was like, oh my God, dude. I just don't think that, after rewatching it, man, I don't know. And I'm really looking forward to see how they continue or how they end this story. And I'm curious for Brad, like, do you think who do you think lived in the council? Do you think Mel survived? I mean, she's right in front of the explosion, bro. Like, right there. I can't see
I feel
it.
like magic was used. Magic had to have been used.
Yeah, I was gonna say they can do some trickery, like the last minute, like.
I know I know her armor, I think, is magic. Like the gold stuff that she wears on her. I think that's magic, but
I could actually see Caitlyn's mom dying because it, kind of pushes forward Caitlyn's conviction or whatever
to be the sheriff.
Yeah,
which is weird. A sheriff of that big ass city, like, you're the chief of police.
Also, with the fact that Silco was able to buy off one guy in the whole city to basically just run unimpeded for like 20 years, I'm like, what the crap?
I think that's kind of realistic though, because you do have mobsters who buy off like senators. They're like, that's historically accurate. You know what I mean?
He bought off one guard, one sheriff.
But he bought off like pretty much the right hand person of, I can't remember her name. Shit, she's like one of my favorite voice actors too. What's her name? Was it Grayson?
I forget. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's Grayson. She bought off like the original sheriff, like, but like he was like that up and comer, that right hand person, and so like my assumption is like his influence, because he was such a reliable and dependable individual. Like, I mean, you couldn't really suspect him, right?
Okay.
I mean, there's ways around stuff, dude. You just have to find the right pressure points. Most of it is money, but I think Silco is like one of the most interesting villains I've seen.
I actually didn't like him at all.
Yeah, like Silco. I love Silco, dude. I thought he was dope.
He was just there. To me, there was no quality about him that should have put him in that position. He was not strong. He was not charismatic. He
was smart, bro.
Shimmer. I mean, he was smart.
There you go.
He was
smart, but he had charisma. He was literally like fucking one of the most like influential people in the room.
I don't think so.
In a room full of like criminals, dude. When you're able to take all those hardened people and bring them to heel, you have to have something about you that's charismatic.
He played a villain that was high in influence.
Yeah, and when you also have like people who are willing to die for you, right?
Okay, and that's the thing. I don't understand her loyalty. It made absolutely no sense.
Dude, he probably saved her.
Yeah, there's no backstory.
I honestly think with Silco, it's the way he like saw his goals and then constantly committed to them and then never wavered from that.
I don't.
Right.
Well, yeah, true. Because wasn't she working for Vander?
Yeah.
Before Vander was taken.
Yeah.
And killed, and then she turned to him, but when she's tired of Vander not acting.
Yeah, when Vander and Silco had that, when they broke off their relationship, right? Yeah. Vander was trying to do it like in the most, I guess I would say, like he was trying to just kind of cohabitate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Silco was like, that's not how this works. Like cohabitation has like kept us down the entire time, so clearly someone had to act. And I think that's how you influence people, by showing not only that you're acting, but that you're getting results from that action. And I think that's just essentially what it was. And it was like by any means necessary. And he was, he was charismatic enough to fucking get people to follow him, bro. Like,
I don't see it.
You don't like him, bro? You don't like his eye? That shit was dope. Love that. Love how fucking just intense his look was. Plus, like, I think when he had that conversation with Jason, he was in that red suit. I was like, that suit is dope. That red and black was hitting.
So what was the deal with the poking of his eye? Because it wasn't anything in the machine.
Well, no, I think so. So basically, he fell into like the chemicals and stuff like that, like when the ocean. Yeah. So pretty much he's just treatment for his eye. Me personally, I would remove that bitch. Like, unless they tell me that we physically can't do
Literally
it.
just have like an eye patch,
Yeah.
bro. I
Yeah.
feel like that would have been cooler.
No, I don't think he would have been as intimidating with an eye patch. Like, oh, it's a
I think it would.
oh, it's
And
a
then
pirate.
you remove it, and then you remove it, and you have nothing in there.
I think like when you show like the scars on his face alongside his eye, like the design of that just looks good. But if you have like an eye patch, I'd be like laughing. It's like, oh, he's a pirate now. I give him the peg leg too. But yeah, all that stuff that like the way it kicked off, I love the fact that I think it was 3 acts, right? I think like act 1 was when they were younger, and then 2 is what was it? When fucking, we found out that Jinx is Powder is Jinx now, and it just kept going and going and going. Yeah, I didn't find a flaw, I just think that like every character kind of served a purpose. And I also think Vander's alive, but not in the way that everyone thinks. I think he's being
I
who
need
is it?
you to elaborate.
So what's his name? Singe? Like the guy that Victor knows, like his that big fucking wolf thing, right? I think that's in League of Legends, and I was like, oh shit, that might be Vander because Vander's known as the wolf. So I was like, now he's, more than likely being transformed into the wolf. Also, Singe is fucked up, dude. That dude is terrifying. He kept that poor creature alive so he could mutate it. I was like, holy shit, dude. You're insane, man. That was like one of the saddest things too. I was like, that's not okay. Like, why do we keep having psychopaths on this show? Holy shit. What did you think of the relationship, Chibi, between V and Kate? Is that your main ship?
I thought it was interesting. I mean, it's like that dynamic of you have two people that come from completely different worlds, and it's like they almost compensate for what the other lacks. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I thought it was a cool dynamic. I just see Brad just shaking.
Lesbians.
I
That's how
thought it
Brad
was
is like,
interesting.
yeah.
Brad, go ahead. What do you think?
I was hoping they would fall in love.
They
Hey, they
did.
might.
Oh, they
Second
did.
season.
They
they
Look-
kinda
they
did.
pretty much did.
But look at the way they look at each other, right? Like it does it not feel kind of like out of left field too? Like it didn't feel natural when it happened.
Eh,
It just kind
No.
of felt rushed to me.
It was kind of forced.
Yeah, it just felt kind of rushed. Like the Mel and Jace thing also didn't feel right. I mean, good shout out to Jace.
Oh.
I think Mel's like the most attractive character in the show, by the way. Like, dear God, how they drew her. I was like, why does she look so angelic the entire time? And then you see her mom. I was like, her mom's like, even with scars on, she looks like an angel, dude. Like, what the fuck? I just felt like the relationships just kind of felt unnatural at times. Like the conversations between them, Like I think that was the only part that I felt like wasn't conveyed properly in terms of writing. I think the voice actors did a really good job what they tried, but like V and Kate's like their conversations didn't feel like it was like playful flirting. But there was like one point where I was like, Kate's like, "What about us?" And I'm like, "Hold on, did we skip a whole fucking section?"
Yeah,
What do you
right.
mean, what about us?
Like Jesus, man. Like, what do you mean, girl? Getting people jealous. Like, what the fuck? But I thought that was like one of the things that's probably like the only flaw, but it was just a fun, it didn't feel like it was super important at first because like here's the thing, like the new season shows V and Kate working together, and I'm like, so did they make up? I'm assuming that's going to happen during the series of the show, something like that. So that was but like I'm hoping they kind of like have at least some stronger writing when it comes like to like when it comes to the romantic implications of their relationship. Like there's got to be consequences too for both of them, right? If Kate's mom did die, which is a good point. I do think that like
I feel like you're on point with that one.
yeah. I think that if Kate's mom dies, like there's got to be like, there's no way that it's got to be so tense to have your sister fucking essentially kill your girlfriend's mom. There's no oopsies here.
How do you
know what I'm
recover?
saying?
Yeah, how do you recover?
Jinx was just in a silly mood. Like, what are you talking about, dude? She does a little trolling.
Right.
She's just in a silly mood.
She pulled out the rocket launcher, dude. She was just joking, guys.
She was just playing.
She was just, surgically implanted with a bunch of shimmer. So, it's cool. It's whatever.
Dude, those scenes where they show Jinx with her like eyes, like that violet, dude, that shit is amazing. Just
That's
every
really
time
cool.
they have her in it, coolest shit I've ever seen. It was interesting in the trailer. If you guys haven't watched it, there's a scene where pretty much they it looks like they're using Jinx, like the people are using her as like a rallying figure for.
An energy source.
I mean, she could be shit, but like a rallying figure, like they should get behind her in terms of like the revolution. And I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna culminate. I hope it doesn't culminate in something cliche like Jinx she gets like imprisoned or something, or like there's a sacrifice play. I think that you could do that, but I do think that like there's no way you can save her, right? Am I wrong about that, Brad? Like you'd have to kill her. Someone has to die.
She crazy.
So there's
And I want Kate to do it. I want Kate to hit the sniper shot, bro.
So probably my favorite character is Echo, and
Yeah.
he's like there is no saving her. Now I will say there's one plot point when they did the really long time jump, right, from when she got out of prison and Powder become Jinx.
Jinx,
Was like, what was like, did Echo not try to do anything for
I think at
Jinx?
the it's kind of weird
because-
because like that's a good point. But it looks like they didn't know about. I think he knew. I don't think she knew about him. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Like I understand that Silco could have like completely
Shut her
isolated
off,
her
yeah.
from everything, but it's like I feel like she could have at any point found out things, But once again, she's crazy, so there's real no justification there that I can really speak of.
No,
It's just
I don't
a
disagree with
weird.
that. I
It's
think
just a
like
weird thing that
once like everything fell apart, I assume like the top side came down hard on them, and then Silco tried to like he made his move right to establish everything, and then I assume that it pushed a number of people out because I think Echo's mentor, the guy who would like taking him in at the shop, he got killed like horribly. Like holy shit, that was brutal. That was just like insane. And then
that was intense.
I assume Echo just like when he like branched off and then ended up finding the gathering people, they ended up finding that one tree, and then like he was just slowly trying to build up, while Echo.
What were they called? The fire.
fireflies.
Fireflies. Yeah. Wasn't V part of that?
No.
Wasn't
that
she?
was while she was in prison, right?
She was in prison.
So that I was kind of confused because I was expecting her to be one of them. But
I think like she was in prison the entire. I think when Marcus found her, he imprisoned her.
No, I think that was the connotation. Like the moment he found her, he put her in prison, so Silco couldn't get to her, which kind of fucked up. But
it makes sense too because Silco would have found her, right? It's called the Firelight.
That was the safest places.
Yeah, I think I think Echo was like slowly building that up, right? And then we just he's only in it for like 2-3 episodes.
Yeah,
which
and that was
sucks,
I really wish
man.
they would have explained him a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, like it's kind of cool. I like the fact that Heimerdinger and him are talking to each other. I do expect like there's going to be like a big showdown with a bunch of characters, and I'd expect like Jace to, if he's not dead, which I assume he's not, there's no way, him to show up and then fucking apologize to Heimerdinger and his dog. Like you need to
apologize to Poro.
You need to say fucking sorry, you little asshole.
Heimerdinger's gonna be like, I was right, bro.
I mean, it's. Yeah, go ahead, Jack. Sorry.
I watched the trailer just now, and the way they did it, it does look like Mel and Kate's mother, or possibly two of the ones that died.
There's almost no way, right? Like I think like the way that rocket hits, the explosion.
Yeah.
I assume Kate's dead. Mel is like, there's a possibility she could have survived based off like armor, but like if it's hitting dead center, bro, that explosion is killing everybody. There's no way anyone survives. But it was really funny because they had like a German trailer, and it's like it's literally the translation is half of your council is dead. So it just depends on one half. But like, yeah, this show like pulls no punches.
The puzzle guy.
I'm hoping it's like everyone who just fucking sucks on the right hand side, dude. They all suck.
Yeah. The puzzle guy, the blonde haired dude. No, was he bald?
No, he's blonde.
Blonde.
Yeah, he was the guy who like literally does nothing. Like he's just kind of like a council member. It's so weird because like I have like, once again, I have no interest in playing League of Legends, but like I feel like this show does such a good job of making me interested in the universe. And I think that it's very it's kind of weird because like usually like it when I watch an adaptation, it's basically of a game I've played, but the way that they shot Arcane, the way they've structured everything, it feels like it was like a labor of love. Like the writers really cared about the source material and decided to tell like a cohesive story. It just sucks. It's only 2 seasons, honestly. Like it really feels like, because two
Well, I
seasons.
mean, it may be just based off of this Arcane, this mystery,
Well, no, it's.
and
I think
then they
it's. I,
may
I
name
think it's. I
something
think
else.
it's literally V and Jinx's story, and then they're going into different League of Legends stories afterwards. Because there's a ton, dude. The universe is vast.
I think that'd be fine.
Yeah, I just think like I'm hoping they don't rush the ending like that. I'm hoping we don't
Oh
get
yeah,
like a cheap ending or something like that. Or
yeah,
I'm hoping it doesn't end on a fucking cliffhanger, which would make no
that'd be
sense
fucked.
considering you are moving on. But then again, it could be like 2 seasons in a movie type deal, which would be great. I would love to see what these guys could do on a feature length film with a pretty huge budget. But yeah, I don't think it's kind of weird. Like when I watched that trailer, I was like, man, there's got to be like Echo has to play a bigger role. I assume he does. And if I remember right, I think he has like time swapping powers, right? Am I right, Brad? So I want to see what that looks like in the second season, like what he can do. But I don't. But once again, like if you have no problems killing children like they fucking did in this show, then I expect like some pretty heavy hits. I mean, Jace hit that kid with a hammer. I was like, God damn. Also, I have a question.
He deserved it.
Brad, I have a question because you're like a logic
Okay.
guy. That kid fell
All right.
like 100 feet, right? Ish. I'm assuming maybe 50. Let's say 50. Let's say he fell.
Yeah.
He's dead on impact. How does he have like that death like? Yeah. I'm like, nah, bro. You got hit with a fucking hammer. You fell 100 feet. There's no talking. Like we should just see the body. I'm kind of confused how that kid survived. That was
the Undercity are just built different. Right?
they have to be, dude.
The Undercity dwellers are
they-
just
They have to be. That was
genetically just
Adrenaline.
built different.
that was probably the most insane thing. I was like, how is he surviving right now? Also, like Jay, like it was also crazy because the entire city guard got fucking blitzed. But Jace, who we've never seen fight, don't know what his combat capabilities are, brings up big hammer, swings it once, kills. Like I was like, dude, how? Like what the fuck? What are we doing here? Like,
You seen that man's physique?
yeah,
Yeah, this dude's fucking ripped.
It's like it's the weirdest thing too. Like the dude just came out jacked, right, with his little fucking weird
Yeah,
mustache.
I was gonna say, wait, you would think he'd be like super skinny, kind of like Victor, because he's like in the lab the whole time.
First off,
like,
shave
working on magic.
that fucking mustache, man. That shit was gross looking. It was so bad the whole season. Out of all the character designs, right? I love them all. I love V, I love Jinx, Silco, Vander. The moment I saw Jace, I was like, he's gonna shave that, right? Because he looks very weird. He looks like he wants to be civilized, but it's not coming off that way. He looks like he's like he's a teenager, you know what I mean, Jack? Like he just turned 15, finally got a little facial hair. He's like, I got it, Dad.
I did it, Dad.
I think I should shave now.
I'm a handsome boy.
I did it.
They do mention a lot of like certain events, like when Jace finally gets to see magic, right? When it saved him, when it teleported him. I know that character that teleported him was like a League of Legends character. I wonder if like what they're doing is like setting up breadcrumbs, right?
For
Like
Oh, yeah.
season.
having
Yeah,
threads
That'd
like.
be
and what
really
they could
cool.
do is like another season they play that scene.
Well, no. Well, what I'm
With
saying,
that
what I'm
character.
saying is like they just like
Yeah.
for the next show, right? Whatever it is, they tell that story of that character.
Yeah.
I'd love to have something on Heimerdinger too, because he's 300 years old, and maybe we can see what he saw.
We can see the yordles.
Yeah, we can see these little short people.
My people.
I just want the dogs, the little pets or whatever.
Poro.
Yeah, just let me see
Yeah.
them the whole time.
And that'd be probably a good time to introduce a little bit of Vander's backstory too.
I don't think they're gonna return to this, honestly. I
No?
don't. No, I think what's
There's so many lead characters. They're definitely. Gonna
I think
deviate.
what's great is that like there's always been something I've always found interesting in writing is like when you world build, but then you kind of move on to a different POV of another
Mhm.
character was set in that universe. And I feel like that's something that they're establishing here because I think like League of Legends has like how many hero champions? Like 100 or
So
something?
many.
So many, right?
Too damn many.
at least 7.
And you also have characters who are effectively like different races, immortal, right? That type of stuff. Like, so we could essentially see like how this world was built, all that stuff. There's like so many different possibilities. I just think like the story of V and Jinx is a personal one, and I wonder how they pivot from that. Like, do they go do something more broad? Which I kind of hope they don't, because I really like the personal storytelling found here. I think it's fantastic. I'm serious. I wonder how it ends, dude. I wonder if like what Do we get the
Find out November.
do we get the double murder? You know, where they kill each other and they
Yeah.
held each other at the end. Kate finds the body. She's heartbroken. She becomes like or the ruthless ass sheriff and stuff like that, and then she fights Echo at the
Right.
end. Something.
So as far as League of Legends, you got the number? Or
No, I
oh,
don't.
as far as League of Legends characters, it looks like 168.
Yeah. Jesus. What? Okay. Wow. You have a
They
ton.
I was just
probably
gonna-
only
I was just
showed
gonna
like
say-
10.
I think they end it kind of like a Avengers Endgame where they just throw like 60 characters in there just for the final fight.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out all. You're like snapping your finger. Oh, that person. I see you. I mean, totally. I mean, it's interesting because like when they started to branch out, when Riot started to branch out and make like RPGs and stuff, like Team Fight Tactics, right? That's also set in League of Legends, correct? Like Runeterra, like all that,
Yes,
all that stuff
sir.
is like impressive.
I
Like
did
there
play
are
Runeterra a little bit.
their RPG stuff is actually really good and has been well received. And
Same.
oh, you played with yes.
No, I was gonna say, just small side note. After Arcane came out, they did a whole TFT set based on like Arcane. Like it was so cool. You had like they specifically put like Silco in there, Victor, like everybody. And they had like different like comps. So you had like a Zon comp. You had just like all these different things, and it was, if you watch the show, you're like, wow, look, they literally just took it and made the whole season for it. It was really neat.
Yeah, I think the whole thing's like a labor of love, right? And like they literally, it's kind of weird because you wouldn't blame somebody or a studio for kind of mailing it in, right? That's pretty
Mhm.
much been all the Resident Evil CG films. They've just been ridiculous over the top, and they don't like fit canon within the series. But I really feel like here it's good because you have a game that has deep lore with the characters and more than likely the interactions between the characters, and you essentially told an effective, cohesive story. And that's fucking hard to do. And I think Arcane won a bunch of awards too. I think it won like
Oh, I'm sure it did.
BAFTAs, Golden Globes. I think it won an Annie. Like if the Academy Awards were to like kind of open it up a little bit, some of the TV series, like this would have won an Academy Award for its animation. It's next level stuff. Watercolor, like especially with the expressions, the facial expressions are so good that I don't think I've seen many animations like studios attempt this. And so I remember when Arcane came out in 2021, people were like, "Oh man, how long is it going to take?" I'm like, it's probably going to take like 2-3 years for them to even get close to the same quality. So sure.
Mhm.
Right. And you have to mix in, the storytelling and writing, and I assume like storyboarding and all that stuff. Like to take an art style that is this good and then have it be consistent, because like when you watch certain shows, there's like a clear fall off after the pilot episode. You're just like, oh, okay, now we're
Yeah.
watching people like do the hard animation where it's like that did not happen here in Arcane. Like everything is fantastically animated, and it enhances the overall product when you're having characters like have monologues and stuff like that, and you see like the pain in their faces, especially like some of the fights too. Like watching V get like stabbed during her fight and watching her face like fucking twist and stuff like that. That was fantastic. I honestly don't think I've seen it in many like movies either. So I'm just overall like really impressed by the product. So Jack, who was your favorite character in the first season, man?
Oh, that's a good question.
Why
I
was it
think
the
I
Poro?
liked. Why is it who?
Why was it Heimerdinger's
Was it the
dog?
Poro? Why was it the dog?
Why was it the dog? I kept telling Brad, I was like, Heimerdinger was right, and that dog was correct too, probably.
It was Tobias.
It's Toby.
I definitely liked Jinx as a character, like that whole.
You would.
I was gonna say the same
Psychotic.
thing, dude. He's like sitting there, he's like, oh,
I
I can
mein
fix her.
I'm gonna be. She's like she
No,
gets me,
I'm
bro.
not trying to fix that.
Jack Street girl.
He's leaning in his chair. He's like, dude, she gets me. Like, I understand.
No, it's I liked the psychotic behavior she had. It's and
I feel like
the
when
way
you're
they
saying
did the art
that
with her.
I feel like when you're saying I like her psychotic behavior, it's because that's what you like, what you're generally interested in, right? You're looking for someone to hurt you.
It'll hurt me.
And Jinx will hurt you, like
she would fuck me up
physically, and you probably like it too, is what you're telling her right now. I'm okay with getting slapped, bro. It's alright. Her love language is explosives. She left.
Oh, that would be so
Like,
painful.
I'm okay with that.
She left a grenade under my pillow, dude. I know she's teasing. She does a bit of trolling every now and then. I'm like, dude, that's a trip mine. Like that's a.
She takes boom boom room to
Yeah,
a whole nother
to a
level.
whole nother level, bro. Like we have to. I gotta pay for the damages. That's okay, dude. You don't understand how this works.
Yeah, right. Echo is pretty cool too. I don't know. It's hard to pick. Like, there's so many really good characters in this show.
Yeah, 100%. Brad, what about you, bud?
It's gonna be a toss up between Echo and Heimerdinger. I liked Jason in the beginning, but like the more the show went on, the less I was just like, you're just not a great guy. I don't like you anymore.
Yeah, there's like a real difference in like ambition, and then ignorance. And he's like the most ignorant person I've ever seen in this show. And I completely understand, right? And he does have like redeeming qualities. He does care about Victor and his friendship and stuff like that. But it's like, dude, at some point you got to see like if like the short little dude like who knows everything, 300-year-old,
the founder of the city,
the founder of the fucking city, that the dude who was there when it was built, right? Like if he's saying some shit, like you should probably relax. What was that thing of like everyone watched the Chronicles of Narnia? What's the lion's name where he's like, "Don't recite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written." That's Heimerdinger. He's like, dude, you can't tell me what it's not, bitch. I've seen this before. We've done this.
He was literally like, he's like, I know what that is. I've seen civilizations fall because of it, and it's not going to turn out good.
Jason Victor, you don't know shit, old man.
Oh, what do you know? Flash forward 5 years.
Lo and behold,
city in ruins.
I want Heimerdinger to be like, "What did I tell you?" Is he hitting him in the fucking head? What did I say? I fucking told you. I taught you this lesson.
Ruined my city.
Oh my god, Chibi, what about you?
Sorry. I would say probably Echo or Vi. I really liked Vi's character.
I think
I don't know.
Dude, Haley Stanfield did a fantastic job.
Oh my gosh, she did a fantastic job with her voice.
Good.
And like if you like know the role she plays, like I feel like her roles aren't like, super edgy or anything. So like having her voice Vi, I was like,
yeah, I thought Ella Purnell as Jinx also, she crushed it.
she did really good.
Yeah.
When I found out she was Jinx, I was like,
yeah, no, I mean put her in every video game adaptation, it'll fucking be it. Holy shit.
That's our girl right there. Oh my god, sorry, I got dogs barking. But yeah, I got so many dogs. But yeah, I would say those two.
Yeah, I think Silco and Vander are my two favorite characters. I just like their dynamic, and I would love to see like how Vander was earlier, because that's what Silco was like. You left me, bro. Like we were supposed to do this together, and then fucking Vander ended up trying to kill him, which I thought that was such a great scene too. Like when they're in the ocean, stabs him in the side, tries to choke him under the water.
I did like that. I like the flashbacks.
Yeah, like I said, they just didn't miss on any
Vander
character.
literally could have just went.
Especially considering how strong Vander is. Like holy shit.
Yeah. And how skinny and scrawny freaking, like he didn't even have to put him under the water. He literally just like picked him up and just went.
You know who's my? I was gonna ask you guys like, what was your favorite design for a character? I'll tell you mine. Like it was the I can't remember the guy's name. It was that one Asian gangster with the fucking gold
jaw.
Dog. That shit was so cool looking, man.
Yeah.
He got what he deserved, 100%. Like when fucking old girl like pretty much cut his head off, but like I was like, that was like they nailed that shit, man. When they started like getting deep into the season and they started to showcase like they were kind of flexing their art design, I was like, dude, this is fantastic. Like Piltover looked amazing.
Actually, I think Vander, when he got on the juice, like when he
get a little bit on steroids now.
Yeah,
when he got on that shimmer,
yeah,
that was pretty dope. I liked that.
That's the new street drug eventually. Let me get that shimmer, brother. I need to feel something. I think did you also like Brad? You kind of knew it was gonna get dark when they fucking experimented on the rat at first, like Silco did with the shimmer.
So sad.
And I think everyone thought it was gonna be the cat like killing the rat, and the rat's like, I fucking have my day in court. He's just like woke up at Joe's spot. I was like, God damn. And that's also pretty cool that most people like were bringing up like Singe was right there. Like that's Victor's mentor, who like fucking created Shimmer. Like that's insane. And I'm also kind of shocked that like and I understand like with Victor's character because I love his character too. That you're young, you've been dealt a bad hand in terms of like your health and stuff like that. But like I like the fact that his character pretty much was like, I want to survive this. So he goes directly to Singe and is like, at first the reason why they like left one another, or like Victor left Singe, was because of the experimentation on Shimmer and stuff like that. And then now he's like, like, what do I got to do? Lay it on me. I'm like, damn, dude. It's such a great contrast of his character early on, because he felt like he was Jace's conscience at first. And he was like, oh, okay, he's gonna be like the guide on his shoulder and stuff like that. And it turns out it's like, nah, man, like, I need to fucking get that Shimmer in me. Let me get some of those roids. Let me see how that makes me feel. Jack, do you have a favorite moment in the show?
I was just thinking of that just before you said that. That intense moment at the very end.
Oh,
when
shoot!
Jinx was, yes, like
of course, Jinx is involved, bro.
Sadness overcame, and she decided to get that big ass missile.
That was dope.
But there was a lot going on at that time too.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's kind of crazy because you have all these disconnected stories, somewhat, right? Basically. And a lot of TV shows fail in this regard when they have multiple POV characters, right? Like, because you don't feel like there's not enough time. But like every time you had a character moment in this show, it was time well spent. Like there was no wasted moment, right?
Definitely was.
And so yeah, you get to see like everyone's reaction to what's happening, except for Heimerdinger and Echo. They're just like, "Hey, you guys like technology?" Well, that was funny because everyone else is like freaking out. You see Caitlyn like fucking in pain. V obviously fucking, I don't want to say near death, but she's in pain. And then you see like fucking Jinx like slowly walking up. The counselors having their vote and stuff like that. And I was like trying not to laugh when I showed Echo and Heimerdinger like hanging out. And I was like, that's not a good sign. Hey, remember us? We were in the show. That's essentially what that was.
Don't forget about us.
They basically just copied Harley Quinn. I mean, that's just Jinx, really. I'm just,
But the most like twisted version of her, right? The one that's like willing
I think
to.
She's much more twisted. Yeah.
Basically, my thought process on Jinx was like she's the version of Harley Quinn if the Joker died, and like she was fully under that person's influence, and now is completely unhinged, right?
Yeah.
Because Jinx didn't have followers. Right, she doesn't have people that were like a lot of people are against her. Really, like in the first season, they're like her being here is fucking terrible because her solution to everything is blow it the fuck up. So you take that part away from her, and now she's like no Silco, who she admired. She you take away Silco, you take away V, who like betrayed her. And then you have the voices in her head winning constantly, right? Which, by the way, twisted fucking imagery. That shit is twisted. One of the the best things in the show is every time she would snap, like especially when she saw Caitlyn too. That shit when she sees her, she's like, "Excuse me." They're just friends. That's all. I'm like, yes, they are friends, Jinx. Like, just relax, nothing's happening. And then. She kind of has that moment, but yeah, Gee, what's your favorite moment?
Other than like I think like one of the final scene, I really liked one of the first big fights that they had when they went to break in to save Vander.
Yeah.
And I love that moment when Jinx like she puts on like the gauntlets of Vander's.
Or
Violet.
Sorry, who did I say?
Relax, Brad. Don't need for that snarky look,
Wait, what did I say?
You said Jinx.
You said Jinx.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Violet.
Yeah.
It was Violet at that point.
My bad. Vi. Where she literally puts on the gauntlets and just bop, bop.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone's face is like, and Silco's like, hold on. And then she just keeps going at it. I don't know. I love that whole sequence because you finally see her put her skills to the test, because it is a life or death situation.
That was kind of a
And
light.
then everything after was
Yeah.
really sad. But I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
like I really enjoyed that part, because that's to me where I was like, damn, like this is serious.
I think the Echo fight with Jinx, that one stood out for me, but the other one was like when they reunited, when
Hmm.
like, because it was such an interesting thing, because like Jinx, like she popped the smoke, right, and then fucking Caitlyn and Vi are trying like to get like there. I don't know if it was like intentional, but like I don't think Vi saw it at first. I think she just ended up in that area or near it, saw the smoke, and then went to that part, and then you
Hmm.
kind of saw how fucking crazy Jinx was when she when she pulls out the Gatling gun. That's like my favorite thing.
Oh
What are
yeah.
you doing? I'm like, Jesus. And then the firelights show up too, which is also really cool. So we then get to see like Echo's character in the very next episode, and he provides important context. Brad, I already asked you what your favorite moment was, right? Sorry.
I don't know. No, you didn't.
I apologize,
Um,
Brad. I
I
just
actually don't know if I have a favorite moment,
fucking guy.
but I will say the like saddest moment, like probably one of the most impactful moment was when Victor tried to use the use the hex
Oh,
cord to
dude.
Oh,
create
and
his
then the
to,
girl came
That
in.
and
you know
Sky
what?
walked in, just got obliterated, and I
You
was
know
like,
what, man?
no.
You know what, man? The entire time when they kept showing her, and like they really didn't do anything with Sky, they just kind of showed how she admired Victor, right? And she had a crush on him and stuff like that. The entire time, my brain was like, with the way Arcane has gone, she's fucking dead. Like, she's probably gonna die because of the Hex Tech stuff, and like, it might be one of the reasons why Victor wants to move on from it. But like, that's also why like I think Victor was so conflicted, right? He saw what like him using the tech is obviously very dangerous. It killed Sky, but like he also saw that it could, the potential, the usefulness of it for himself. Like it really would elongate his life. I thought that was such an interesting thing. But like that whole scene, bro, was fucking messed up, man. When she's
Yeah,
like,
it was.
she was trying to save him, and he was like, "Now you ain't got to do that." I was like, "Damn, what the?" I
And then she
expected her
just
to
got
die.
zappitied.
Yeah, I expected her to die, but not in that brutal of a fashion. I kind of like maybe
Just
she
get
would die.
evaporated.
Maybe like, yeah, maybe like the lab would blow up and she pushes Victor and then gets crushed or whatever. She has like a sweet tender moment. Not like, hey man, do you know this is blowing up? And it's I was like, fuck. I think that's what makes this series so good though, is that like they just they don't pull punches like in the
No,
slightest. They
no, they don't.
constantly like, if you think they're gonna like pull like a MacGuffin where like someone gets randomly saved, they're like, nah, that dude's dead. You see that kid over there? Hit it with a hammer.
Yeah, gone.
You see like Grayson, and like when fucking Silco unleashed that one dude who was like a monster. Yeah, like we see with Silco and then Echoes and the shop owner, Vander, one of Vander's closest friends. You see them dead almost instantly, getting tackled by him. I was like, what the
The
fuck?
way that Milo and Clagger died.
Oh yeah, Clagger, dude, I'm telling you right now. Which one's Milo? Milo's skinny one. He's skinny one. Right?
Milo's a short. Yes.
Clagger's death, dude. That was the most disturbing of the entire show. Like when he gets hit in the head and it fucking like breaks his glasses off and shit like that, I was like, dear God, this is fucked up. That was the most messed up part of the show. Like Milo getting impaled, I was like, that's brutal too. But Clagger's death was like so sudden and so fast, and I was like,
Dude, and I saw his goggles and I was like, fuck.
yeah,
Vi wears those. Like
Yeah.
if you look at her
KO.
character design, she wears them, and I was like, oh, he's dead. He's gone.
Yeah.
GG's over.
It's like she didn't get that from like him gifting it. He was like, here you go, Vi. I think you need this in combat. No. He's dead. DED. Dead. Um. Damn. Sad, so are we gonna talk about sad scenes? Holy shit! There's a ton of them there, Brad. Damn,
So many of them.
Brad brought that up and was like, yeah, the saddest scene though was Sky dying. I was like, man, that poor girl. She's like, essentially, what the fucked up part is like, she's just gonna be a footnote, like unless they bring
Yeah.
her up next
Yeah,
season.
pretty much it.
That's like that's the harshest part of the show, is that when characters,
Victor's admirer.
yeah, when the woman who loved dead. That was-
Womp, womp,
I know.
womp.
Womp womp. Yeah, I think there's I really think I'm hoping that like in the second season, when if Vander does eventually become the wolf, like I do kind of want a moment where like I could see like a really tragic scene where Vi has to kill it, and then she realizes it's Vander. Like that would be fucking brutal. but I can see them doing that, right?
And
Or
then Vander kills Jinx.
that would be like the plot twist of all plot twists. Like
He's like, you exploded the laboratory that knocked me off, and I almost died.
and then
You're the
Kate
reason why all this
Kate
happened.
shoots Vander. It's like Vi, how do you love her, bro? Now both people now they're all dead. Now everyone you love is dead. What do you do now? You go to prison. That's what happens. You got to pay for your crimes. I wonder what's gonna happen to Jace too, because technically Jace, he's kind of
Yeah,
he's
and we
kind of
didn't
the
even
dude
see
who's
him in the. Sorry to cut you off. We didn't even see him in the trailer, right?
no.
No, he's
So
not in the trailer.
I assume
Oh.
they're doing that to kind of like
Yeah,
Red
like,
herrings.
clear-
yeah,
for
to
suspicion.
either hide the fact that like Victor, Vander or Victor, Jace, and Mel survived, if they do survive. Let's
I
say
thought you saw Mel though.
you
see Mel's mother.
see Mel's mommy.
Oh, okay.
You see
Yeah.
Muscle Mommy. That's what I'm talking about.
Must
But that could be a red herring too.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like
Trying to
the
misdirect. Like
the German trailer
it could
literally
be just
says
Caitlyn's mom.
yeah, the German trailer says half the council died. So like let's
Oh.
assume that the council on the right hand side of Mel is all the people who got killed. So the other half would be like Mel, Victor, and maybe
Which were
someone
all
else.
irrelevant people.
Yeah, which
Mm.
were just
Yeah.
shit, which were just
Irrelevant.
terrible fucking people.
Right. Yeah. People who
like that-
sat in seats.
I like the cyborg looking guy.
Dude, he looked
Didn't
crazy.
do it. Yeah,
And he was also like, magic fucking almost destroyed my society. And Jason's like, and?
Right.
It's not gonna happen to us.
You're not even human. What?
Yeah.
I don't understand how this relates.
Like, he's like one of the Mass Effect fucking random people on the council. It's like, shut up, dude. Like, you're not the Hanar, dude. You don't get to talk to me like that.
One thing, one character I didn't understand.
Go ahead.
When Vi gets stabbed or whatever, and Caitlyn has to get her medicine. The sick dude that helps her find the medicine. He keeps saying that he knows Vi.
Oh,
I didn't know who that was.
No, you don't remember him? He was so in the how they introduced Vander in the first episode, where like the guy's sitting there, he's like asking for his money from like Sevica and like the other guy.
It was the guy from the
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's like,
Okay.
yeah, this is not what we agreed to. You're supposed to pay me. He's like, well, the deals have changed. And then Vander steps in and he's like, hey,
Yeah, he
that's
was the
not how
ponytail dude.
that's not how we do things around here. Like his whole thing was like he like really loved Vander. Obviously, a lot of people idolized him, and then fucking that's what Shimmer did to people. I love the fact that they show the consequence of what Shimmer does to the average person. That shit is amazing. Like they really kind of it really mirrors like real life, right? You have all these different like crises, the opioid crisis and stuff like that. And it just kind of extends itself in the game with fucking what would be considered like a miracle drug, right? Shimmer can make you stronger, more than likely. It has a number of different uses, right? And just ends up ruining people's lives due to like addiction or something like that. I think that's what he said too. Is like, I just wanted to show Vander that it became something or something like that, which was also a really sad fucking scene, right? Shout out to whoever that one the medicine woman was or whatever. She's just like, yeah, I got you. I got your fucking cure all here, there, bucko. And just like moved on. It's like, all right, cool. Now Vi is magically cured of that stab wound that should have killed her or perforated a lung, but what do I know?
Remember, as Brad said, they're just built different down there.
I mean, Vi is built different, dude. She's massive.
I mean, she was punching a brick wall for
she was
5
legitimately.
years or
I don't know if you
whatever.
guys have ever seen. There's a martial arts film called The Raid 2, and one of the scenes, like the very scene when you see the main character and he's like grown from the first film. He's like in his prison cell and he's punching the fucking wall with his bare hands. I'm like, good lord. He's like breaking it apart, and I'm like, this guy's gonna fucking murder people, bro. And the very next scene he does like kill a bunch of people. I was like, yeah, awesome. That's Vi pretty much. She's like,
so I was looking at the champions list.
Yes, sir.
I don't see a Vander, but there is a
It's
wolf
Rick.
called Warwick.
There's Warwick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warwick.
Warwick is
Which is it says it's transformed by experiments.
Yep, that's what they're trying to do 2 and 2. And if that does go that route, it makes sense, right? A lot of people like Vander, people like werewolves. So, now we have Vander werewolf. Everyone's happy. No one should complain. I do want to ask, like, what do you want to see in season 2? I think that's gonna be like one of the final questions. Chibi, what do you want to see in season 2?
Wait, I don't know. Can we have some sense of happiness? That's what I want to see.
I don't
think we'll get
the
that.
very
but...
end.
Yeah, the very end. I don't know. I
At
guess
the very end.
I'm wanting to see all the loose ends tied up.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's hard to say because there's just so many different parts that are happening. So I think as long as we get majority of the answers kind of tied up at the end, I'll be happy.
I feel
I'll be
like
good.
we're gonna get to like a monologue by Heimerdinger at the end of the show about the dangers of magic and why he should be listened to because he is very small. You know?
And he created the city.
Small
And
and
he's watched it
wise.
burn.
I want
Right,
Heimerdinger to be
right.
like, and I'm creating a league
Yeah.
of legends.
They said
God.
the name.
He said the thing. Roll fucking credits. Can you imagine if they do that shit, dude? I'd be so annoyed. I'll also probably be like excited. That's pretty funny. Jack, what do you want to see, man?
Shit. I don't even know. I just want to see them continue with the art style that they've had, and I don't know.
Well, looking at the trailer, you've gotten your wish. All right, so congrats, I guess.
No, they definitely stuck with it.
Just say
I
you
do
want
want
to
to see Warwick. That'd be badass.
Okay, I was gonna say, just say you want to see more Jinx, bro. Like, we got it. Like, we.
I mean,
under-
that's a given though. I don't have to say that.
Plot twist: Jinx actually falls in love with Caitlyn, and there's
Oh,
That's why they're
there's
beefing right now,
a
bro.
conflict between the sisters.
That's why they're beefing right now. They're in love with the same girl.
Yeah.
Lesbian. Lesbian love triangle.
I don't know. The relationship that
Happy
that
Pride,
Jinx
everybody.
had with Silco was pretty awkward.
What's that?
The relationship that Jinx had with
I
Silco looked pretty awkward
I
to me.
never saw that as more than like a father figure thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just always thought like he was legitimately concerned about her well being the entire time. I think he saw himself in her, right, and then wanted to fucking do the right thing by her because Vander just, you know.
I feel like he knew she was a valuable tool.
Yeah, I think he knew that too. I think he saw that as well, but like, I think he also saw the potential in her and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, yeah,
eventually.
I mean,
So the thing was like they never really showed like what happened with Jinx. Obviously they had the time jump, right? But like the way he treats her, the way he defended her constantly, and like the way he was like as honest as possible, especially when he was talking to Vander's statue and stuff like that, it really showcased that, like, dude. And then also when he talked to Jace, where he's like, I'm not giving up the girl. Like, you can take me. You can take whomever the fuck you want. You're not getting Jinx. It's not her fault.
Right.
Like, that to me was like, he really did care about her. Like, that's why I said, like, Silco, like, the thing about this show is that you did, like, characters were all complex. Even the characters who we thought were good had, like, had done terrible things or had done bad things, right? So that type of complexity is really appreciated because it extended to everybody who's there, except for Heimerdinger and Poro. Like, I mean, Heimerdinger is like legitimately the only character who is like, dude, like, listen to me. I know I'm annoying, right? When I'm in your ear and I'm telling you to fucking wait a bit, right? And that's such a, like, you know, when you see a bunch of shows where you see like that older character who's like, dude, listen, I've seen wars, right? This type of shit is more than likely going to repeat itself. Just like chill a little bit. And they're like, never. The times have changed, old man. Things, I think I'm different. It's like, no, you're not. You're just like every other dipshit who said that in the history of all this. And then, you know, Jason Victor ended up, you know, hurting people and then creating technology that could be used for other than, you know, bettering people's lives. And that's essentially like, that's, you know, obviously mirrors what happens in the real world too, right? Like, we tend to think like technology is always for the betterment of people, and then it always gets used to hurt others as well. So that's always like part of the story. Brad, what do you want to see?
I want Heimerdinger to be like a Yoda figure and literally just
He
goes
is a
up to
Yoda
the
figure.
council. Well, no, and just goes up to the council and just beats the crap out of everyone. He just like pulls out his electro staff or something. I don't know. He just has some type of he uses the dog. He's like he starts beating people with his dog.
Have you ever? So no one here has seen the new Godzilla movie, right? The new Godzilla Kong movie.
No.
What's super funny is that at one point King Kong gets attacked because like little monkeys like betrays him. So he takes the little dude and starts beating the other apes around him with him. It's the funniest shit. That's what Brad. That's immediately what jumped to my head when Brad said that. He just like grabs the dog. The dog like fucking gets like this magical armor and just like, starts whacking people with him. You want to see Heimerdinger use the Force essentially.
So yeah. So really, I want there to be a resolution. I want there to be like kind of a, whether if it's everyone dies, but it's I would like to see Heimerdinger and Echo kind of take their philosophy of that tree and like making everyone united or
This man
whatever.
wants a happy ending. Let's
How
go, Brad.
how
Yeah.
that happens? Does Violet and
Jack looks
Jinx, like,
disgusted. He's
cancel each
like
other?
happy.
Yeah, does Vi and Jinx like cancel each other out? They just kind of end each other, and the council gets dissolved, and the over city or whatever the upper and lower half of start working together to do so. I don't know. I just want to see it. I don't want it to just be like Violet understands that Jinx is lost forever and the city is going to continue on as it is, and then the rest is history. I don't want it to just be like things go on.
I don't disagree with that. I think that's yeah. I think that if you're going to do 2 parts, like let's get firm resolutions in. I do want to see like if Jace does survive, I kind of want him to fucking finally like get off the fence and be on one side, and finally
Yeah, I
like
need him to pick a side. He's so annoying.
need him to fucking man the fuck up for once, right? If I'm curious like if Mel did die, how far is her mom willing to take it, like in terms of like hunting for Jinx? Because I feel like her knowing that Jinx did this is more than likely going to lead to war. So we are going to see other nations
I think you
involved.
see that. I
And
think you see that
like
preparation
one
in
of
the trailers.
you want to talk about a sad scene when her mom straight up was like, "I want you to execute that girl." To Mel,
Oh yeah, yeah.
he's like, "I want you to kill her," and I'm like, "Shit, dude!" Like she's just trying to like she's like this really sweet kid who's like just trying to talk about this is where the king consort consider or the queen consort. This is like all the stuff that can happen. She's like trying to find peace, and they're like, we don't work with peace. We're like it's a war tribe essentially. Yeah, so I'm curious to
Work
see
with
like
absolutes.
because like everybody else is kind of like half measures. Everyone's playing politics, but like Mel's mom is not about that life, dude. Her life has completely been about war.
Survival.
Her son died, right? She loses her daughter. She loses like her last like heir. She's gonna fucking absolutely lose her shit and probably do something that's gonna cause a ton of problems. Maybe you'll see the city actually come together, or they'll probably, or like Caitlyn's gonna try to convince her that look, like hold off on that shit. I'm gonna try to get Jinx before all this stuff pops off. But I really am curious to see like how far she pushes it. But resolutions would be nice too. I think you have like you have a ton of like open threads, and we're at the point where like, what purpose are like certain characters going to serve? Like Sevica, right? Silco is not there anymore. Are you now in charge of the underbelly, or are you on the side of those in Zon who want to fight Jinx, who want to bring her to heal and stuff like that? Who do you blame for Silco's death? That type of stuff. I'm very curious to see how that works out. But like Brad, I'm hoping there's like a love triangle, right? The sisters and Kate, they fight over her, right? But I honestly think that like someone has to die, right, to kind of stop all that.
Yeah.
As long
I
as
think it'll be Caitlyn.
As long, man, that'd be rough. Jinx kills Caitlyn, or Vi kills Caitlyn.
I think Caitlyn's gonna be attempting to protect Vi and dies in the process.
That's like the last straw, right? We've got to stop her. He gets the Expendables together. Is that Vander? No, it's Warwick. Comes out with a fucking mini bazooka. It is gonna be interesting. But Arcane. So I think, do we all agree that Arcane is quite possibly like one of the best shows out there right now? And Netflix didn't. I mean, listen, Netflix didn't fuck it up, right? Arcane is what I think it's one of the highest like rated shows of like all time too. Ever, yeah.
Of anything.
I'm really hoping that they don't fumble part 2, just because they're moving on to different stuff. But
They fucking better not. They've been cooking on this for years,
True.
so
But we will.
they better not.
But we will see. So that's gonna do it for this part of the show. We're just gonna talk about what we're doing next. So next up, we're watching Brad's anime choice. Finally, it's been a couple weeks. It's gonna be
Oh boy!
was it The Uncle from Another World? I think it was, right? It's on Netflix. I think it's 12 episodes.
Please repost. I'll forget.
We will repost it. And then for the show, and then for the anime, the adaptation, let's do something light. Let's do like the Super Mario Brothers movie. Like, I don't want to do anything uber dark because I was gonna say The Last of Us, but I'm like, some people are not gonna like that show.
I will cry.
The first
you know my fear.
the first episode will make you fucking cry. And as a dad,
Trust
like,
me. I trust.
as a dad, it was really hard when I was like sitting there and I was like, Jesus, that one hit really hard. There's a game that just came out called Chained Together. It's $5. Okay, so
Too much.
I want everyone. I want it. That's gonna. It's a four. I think it's 4-player co-op.
Brad.
It's a 4-player co-op. So I think like the way we're gonna work it is that Brad and Chibi on one team, me and Jack on the other. You convince me. You can.
Brad's like,
I'm down.
You convince me.
I'm
And,
down. Let's
we'll-
do this.
We'll do a recording.
Chibi will carry me.
We'll do a recording. Jack, you can pick. I'll let Jack. Jack, you can pick the day if you want to stream it. We can stream it. If
Yeah, I can
not,
stream it.
yeah, we'll,
And I'll do I'll use Metal to record the gameplay, so
perfect.
you can get my
Hopefully I'll be
perspective
moved
without
in by
the
this time.
stream stuff
Yeah.
in the way.
So we'll work on that. We'll let Chibi, we'll come together on a date, but it's $5. I do
Yeah.
want to
that's fine.
probably do like a video with Brad to like kick it off at first, see how it works out, and then afterwards you can be like, this is gonna be a fucking nightmare for everyone.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a nightmare, but it's fine.
Yes.
I got nothing else. Does anybody else have anything? No. Brad, you got something? What do you got, buddy?
Bro, I gotta pee.
Go
Well,
use
in
the
that
bathroom, dude.
case- Well, in that case,
Brad's like, I
I
gotta
haven't
lie,
said
actually.
anything.
Brad, come on, we're teammates. Come on.
we should watch Sonic the Hedgehog.
We can watch, but how about we watch Sonic the Hedgehog and Super Mario Brothers because there's two.
Actually, yeah, I haven't seen Super Mario Brothers, so I do want to watch that one. I have seen Sonic the Hedgehog, so
We can
That-
watch.
that's fine.
We
That's
can
good.
watch them both.
The first Sonic.
what about Werewolves Within?
That's a funny fucking movie. Like we can watch that as well.
I don't think I've seen that
We'll have like a
I don't
list of
think
stuff
I've
we want to
seen
go
that.
over. But if that's it, Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree's out. I'm playing the shit out of that. That's gonna be great. Is anybody playing anything? Anybody? No,
I've been
'cause-
playing Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, with Brad. That's been a lot of fun
Yeah.
watching you two play.
Oh,
I started playing
everything-
Kingdom Hearts 2.
I do want to talk to you guys about like the stuff for Halloween. Chibi, we want to play the Outlast Trials.
Oh.
I know you
Sorry,
had
Beans Borkin.
some palpitations when that was going on. A little panic.
Listen, I'll do it for the content. It's
Okay.
fine. I'll
I'll wear my
man
heart
up.
rate
I'll
monitor for those.
I'll talk with Jack about like what other co-op games we could potentially play horror wise. And then Brad wants to play It Takes Two. I don't fucking know why, dude.
I love that game. It's a great
good game.
game.
Sure.
No,
I'm
I
having
meant
such a
like
fun
I meant
time
like
playing
for the
it.
channel. I meant for the channel. Brad wants to play it.
We need some uplifting content, man. We need some happy
Hell
So
no.
let's talk
some
about
happy
divorce.
vibes. We need some happy vibes.
Talk about divorce.
If party
It is.
if,
Dude, the stuffed elephant scene is the absolute
Oh,
worst.
Dude,
Oh my God.
I have the best clip of me reacting to that. It's hilarious because I had no idea it was coming, and I was like,
let's not talk about divorce, Jesus Christ. All right. So if
Hey,
that's
they stay together. They stay together.
if that's gonna do it for this episode, we're gonna be watching Uncle from Another World. It's on Netflix, 12 episodes, and then we're also gonna watch Super Mario Brothers, and then we'll do Sonic after that. How about that, Brad? We can watch both films. I think they're I don't know if they're on Paramount.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, both films is fine.
Arcane season 2 is coming out in November. We're all looking forward to it. We're
November.
probably gonna do an episode on it, and that's gonna do it for this episode. So, it's been Pixelated Thoughts. Talk to you guys next time.